Hello everyone. Welcome to the INCOSE International Workshop 2025. I am Manas Bajaj, the Chief Systems Officer at Intercax. This is a quick overview of the SysML v2 implementation status in our Syndeia digital thread platform. Syndeia provides capabilities to connect with a wide variety of enterprise tools and repositories and build, query, visualize, and configuration manage live digital threads between artifacts in those repositories. Syndeia is vendor neutral, secure, and enterprise scale. Syndeia makes all of its integrations available through a very powerful standard REST API to consumer apps, some of which that are built by us and that you will see them in action today, like the Syndeia web dashboard. Here's how our SysML v2 journey looks like. Syndeia was the first commercial tool to support the SysML v2 API in June 2021. That was almost 4.5 years ago. Each Syndeia release since then has added more capabilities with SysML v2. This year, our goal is to support CAD transformations and provide advanced visualizations and reporting capabilities for SysML v2 digital threads. Our demos today will use a spacecraft SysML v2 model, starting with a textual notation published to the repository using the standard SysML v2 API. Syndeia can transform and connect v2 elements to models in other repositories such as Jira, Jama, Teamcenter, Windchill, GitHub, and TestRail. This creates a live digital thread that's managed by Syndeia. So let's get to the demonstration. Let's start with the spacecraft digital thread project on the Syndeia web dashboard. It shows that there are 7 repositories such as Teamcenter, Jira, Jama, TestRail, and others, along with SysML v2 repositories that are participating in that spacecraft digital thread. There are 7 projects or containers across these repositories containing 165 artifacts with 112 relationships that are already woven in the spacecraft digital thread. The plots below show the incremental and the cumulative growth of the digital thread over time. I can go to the workspace tab and now start browsing the projects on that SysML v2 repository. This is all happening live. Syndeia is not storing this data. And when we do mouse clicks or perform mouse clicks in this demo, you will see the data being fetched live via the standard SysML v2 API and being operated on in the Syndeia environment. So I'll go to that spacecraft project that I have here. I can browse it by branches or tags, but in this case, I'm browsing the elements in the latest commit. What I'm doing here is to expand the spacecraft package and look at its child elements, and so basically navigating the membership relationship and the feature relationship from that one element onto the downstream elements. I can look at both the incoming and the outgoing elements, and I can very quickly switch from the tree view to the graph view, where I can now zoom and pan and navigate this. I can change colors, I can change the display labels to make the visualization better. I'll expand that spacecraft element, which is a part def, and now I can see the decomposition of the spacecraft into its child elements through the feature membership relationship. There's a harness system, the payload system, and so on. So the purple nodes are showing you the SysML v2 model elements, but then you're seeing other colored nodes beyond this, because now the spacecraft SysML v2 element is actually linked to elements in other repositories, Teamcenter and Windchill. Both of them have assemblies of the spacecraft. I can expand the Teamcenter node, and now I can see a decomposition of that Teamcenter spacecraft BOM assembly here, right here. So right click on the spacecraft, go to more details, provide my credentials. Then I can see a BOM structure for that spacecraft assembly right within active workspace. I can drill down within active workspace and look at all of its detail. So this shows that that thread is live. Next, let's dive into some live digital thread reports for the spacecraft. Here we see a Jira report with 22 Jira issues that are participating in the spacecraft digital thread. And then these issues are organized by their status, by the priority and assignee and the type. And this is indeed a live report. You see those pie charts, you see a color-coded table based on the status of the Jira issues. There's a similar report for JAMA showing the items organized by status and by priority. And again, a similar color-coded table. So these are live reports from the spacecraft digital thread. Next, we can look at baselines. So there are baselines that have been established for the spacecraft digital thread. I can look at the individual baselines, but I can also then go and compare the baselines. I compare the first baselines when the requirements were linked together, but then the second baseline where the structure was linked. And I can see a quick baseline compare that shows relationships that are created, updated, or deleted between any two baselines. In Syndeia, digital threads are graphs, and Syndeia provides a powerful graph query language called Gremlin, which is an open source and the de facto standard for graph queries out of the box in the Syndeia web dashboard. You can create a library of queries, you can play individual queries, or you can play the complete library or collection of queries. For example, I just played this collection and it can show me how many relations are there in the spaced out digital thread. It can actually get those relations. You can see the patterns of the relations. It tells you which different types of repositories the data is coming from, which projects the data is coming from that's participating in the digital thread, what kind of artifact, whether they're parts or requirements or tests that are participating in the digital thread. And if I click on the second collection, I can then look at, again, these are live queries that have just run. Look at all the relationships that are coming in and out of GitHub, relationships that are going in and out of Jira, Team Center, and TestRail. And again, this is really live. I can right click on any of the query results and go and look at more details, and I have that in the native repository. So that was a quick tour. If you would like to learn more, there are these two videos from our first Digital Thread conference that we had last year, where Sandy and I did a joint presentation on SysML v2's support for the digital thread, followed by a detailed demo of Syndeia for the spacecraft problem. Again, these videos are on YouTube, and you have the links here that you can kind of browse. And continuing the Christmas spirit, in 2025, we built and demonstrated live digital threads with SysML v2 for Santa's sleigh delivery system. That was the reason why all of you got your Christmas gifts during the Christmas break. Again, this is a 5-part blog series where we start with the SysML v2 model and build a live digital thread for the SDS. And yes, that's a real 3D CAD model of the sleigh delivery system that we built in NX and used to extract mass properties for requirement verification. You can go to this link and read all about this 5-part blog series. Well, feel free to reach us for more details. If you're a SysML v2 vendor provider implementing the v2 API, talk to us. We can be an excellent test bed for your implementation and show you how we can weave live digital threads and integrate your SysML v2 offering with hundreds of tools and enterprise data repositories. Thank you for the opportunity to present today.